Hi everybody, it's Rich the Awning Guy here from Window Works. It's Friday at 4 p.m. and sorry for the technical difficulties, but my selfie stick and microphone have gone MIA. I don't know, but I think it has something to do with my kids. We'll find out soon. So sorry if it's a little hard to hear me, but today's episode is about wind sensors. And I had originally planned on broadcasting from Paramus on a project that where we actually have a broken awning, but some scheduling conflicts got in the way, and so now we're actually at a friend of mine's house here in Blauvelt, New York, where we installed a retractable awning last year. And you're going to recognize this awning because sometime in the near future we'll be talking about birds and how much birds love this product, probably more than humans do, but we'll get to that topic some other time. In the meantime, today's topic is about wind sensors. So one of the questions that I get asked most often is, how long do these things last? And a lot of my answer has to do with several things. First and foremost, what kind of slope we get on the awning. So you can see on this awning behind us, we've got a nice 15-degree slope, and that's what the factory recommends. So that way, if you get a little bit of wind, a little bit of rain, the awning's able to shear it off, and it'll withstand more of a beating than an awning with no pitch. But also some things that factor into the equation are how many square feet the awning has, what sort of projection they have as well. So this, if memory serves, is an 11:9 projection. So this is about an average awning for me. And I would say generally, depending on how good or bad the client abuses the product, I'll see the product last anywhere from, or the fabric portion of the awning last anywhere from 12 to 18 years or more. It was just a few weeks ago, about a month ago, we put a new fabric on an awning that was 26 years old. We had installed several decades ago. So going back to wind sensors, a lot of people ask, particularly as more and more younger people with, that are very app-driven. Somfy is the manufacturer of the motor that we most often work with here. They're pretty much the industry standard, and they've done a phenomenal job introducing some new technology to automate the use of the awning, whether it's sending it out on a hot sunny day, sending it in when it gets a little bit windy out. I know that there are sensors in development where literally if it starts to rain, we'll be able to send the awning in. So there's a lot of cool things out there that are designed to help enhance the use of the motor. And one of the most popular products that I'm asked about is the wind sensor. So to me, a wind sensor is it's a little bit of a double-edged sword, because I think they're a phenomenal option because they will sort of they'll do what they're supposed to do. The way it works is as the wind starts to make the arms start to bounce up and down. We're actually getting a gust right now. I'll see if the awning moves a bit. So what'll happen is, as the gusts and the wind starts to kick up a bit, the awning's going to start to bounce a little bit. And a bouncing awning is okay, but an awning that starts to flap is not okay. So what will happen is, as the awning starts to move up and down, you'll see the valance is just starting to flap a little bit. This was a very light breeze, so it's okay for the awning to be out. But what we'll do is we'll adjust the sensitivity of the sensor, and depending on where you are on the scale, how much slope you have, what sort of square footage you have on the awning, we'll send the once the threshold has been reached on the amount of wind on your awning, it'll send a radio signal to your motor, and the motor will automatically retract itself. So that's what it's designed for, and they do a phenomenal job. But to me, to answer the question whether or not it's worth it, it really comes down to whether or not how the product is being used and what the expectation is for the sensor itself. So sometimes we'll get people that want to use this sensor as the de facto way to retract the awning. Definitely not a good idea. If you're someone that wants to leave the awning out and hope that the wind sensor brings it in, then that's really not the way that a wind sensor is designed to be used. But if you're someone that's a little bit forgetful, or you want to use the sensor as an additional layer of security, absolutely that's the right thing to do. But like I said, it's definitely not the de facto way to have the awning retracted. So if you'll remember, if you live here in the New York metro area, probably about 6 weeks ago or so, we had some really nasty weather spring up out of nowhere. And now today is a beautiful 90 degrees, slightly breezy day. So today, hi Luann, how are you? Thanks for watching. So today your wind sensor would really not be engaging itself, maybe this afternoon if we got some thunderstorms. But like I said, the way the wind sensor works is obviously on a perfect day like this, the awning's not moving. But eventually as the wind starts to kick in, you'll see the awning start to bounce a little bit. And then at some point, it'll send a radio signal and it'll tell the awning to retract. So that's great when the wind starts to increase. Now again, going back 6 weeks or so, that nasty storm that kicked in out of nowhere, where literally out of nowhere we had, I think, 60-mile-an-hour gusts, that is not going to, that's a storm that no wind sensor will be able to protect against, because the way the wind sensor works is it senses kinetic energy. So as the front bar starts to bounce and move, as it starts to go live, it goes up, and then all of a sudden it'll send its way in. But if you have a 40-mile-an-hour, 50-mile-an-hour, 70-mile-an-hour gust out of nowhere, obviously there's no time for the sensor to engage. And even if it does, you still have 10-20 seconds for the motor to retract itself. So like I said, wind sensors are all about expectation. And if you do want to buy a retractable awning, I definitely would recommend a wind sensor, again, but only as an added layer of security, not as the way to retract the awning. But these are the things that when you're dealing with a custom awning company, we will take each project case by case and make a recommendation on what you should do, what you shouldn't do, which model that the wind sensor would be optimal for, and whether or not you would be a good candidate for one. So anyway, that's it for me. And if there are any questions, feel free to visit us online at windowworksnj.com. Otherwise, I'm Rich the Awning Guy, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Happy Friday. Bye-bye.